If you want to be a part of these Pittsburgh Steelers mailbags, we need two things from you. Number one, you gotta be subscribed, and you have to use hashtag Steelers in the comment section, and it makes our lives easier when you do that. So sub right now, and if you have questions, throw them in the comments right now using hashtag Steelers, as we want to tease the 6 people whose questions are featured on today's show. Big Mac, C-Bar30, Zach Ward, Eric Straub, hope I pronounced that last name correctly, Connor Waits, and Sam Hartman, all coming up on today's Pittsburgh Steelers mailbag. Let's get it going with Big Mac, solid food. Who would be a better fit in the Steelers offense? Kenny Pickett or Malik Willis? Also, congrats TJ Watt, best in the league. Well, first off, drop a like if you're excited about TJ Sack King Watt, as producer Jeremy calls him, for winning all of the awards this year. Well-deserved on the defensive side of the football. As for your question, the quarterback side, it's a good one. Depends on what offense you want to run, and really how you feel about the upside of Malik Willis. Kenny Pickett is the better QB right this second. He is older, he's more experienced, he's more accurate. He played very well for Pitt and has ties to Matt Canada as part of this Steelers offense, which we'll get to more in depth in a minute. Meanwhile, there's Malik Willis, who I like quite a bit in terms of his upside. Now, Willis has had some footwork issues, there's some decision-making, and frankly, I don't think he sees the field all that well. He attacked the outside and not over the middle, really hardly at all at Liberty, which I think was partially an offensive issue as well. As for best fit, because Matt Canada is the team's offensive coordinator, he recruited Kenny Pickett at Pitt. I would suspect that Pickett actually might be the better fit. I would not be upset in the end if they went after a Willis instead, but I think because of the already built-in familiarity with the staff and the player, I think Pickett might be the better fit there. C-Bar30, Willis is a big fat no thanks. We already have a Willis on the roster. His name is Dwayne Haskins. So I don't want to be too mean here, but this is basically telling me you don't know Malik Willis without telling me you don't know Malik Willis. Especially in terms of like the play style, they are exactly nothing alike. Those two guys, from a play style standpoint, could not be more different. Dwayne Haskins was a drop back mesh route option quarterback. He didn't run the football. Malik Willis is dynamic running the football, and he's more raw than Haskins was. He's got a better arm with way more mobility. Now, there was some immaturity stuff at Liberty as well, if that's what you're going after, or at Auburn, with Haskins having that same stuff at Ohio State. But play style-wise, they are nothing alike. Absolutely nothing familiar about those two. Frankly, if we're being honest here, outside of both being black. That is their similarity. That's where it starts and where it ends. So this is a little mean there, producer Sam. But from if we're only focused on the player comparison, LOL is actually kind of fair. All right, Zach Ward, how about this question? Would you rather give up 2 first-round picks for a QB with 2 or 3 years, or give up the picks and move up and get Malik Willis? So this does depend, or Pickett, thank you. This depends on your timetable for a Super Bowl. If you're trying to rebuild and you're convinced Willis is the guy, okay, then go get him. If you think you're close to contending, trade for the QB. In general, I think with this quarterback class in particular, I want the veteran QB. Now, if there were a Trey Lance or a Justin Fields, I might go that route. I don't think even Malik Willis, any of those guys, is that caliber of prospect. So I would rather go trade for a QB. 4 names that make sense. Aaron Rodgers, the Packers can't retain him. Russell Wilson, if he wants out. Deshaun Watson, if the legal stuff ends up getting cleared. Kyler Murray, if the Arizona stuff remains super friggin' weird or whatever. So in terms of getting up 2 firsts for him, I think all these guys are worth it. The younger ones might have a little bit more value. So what do you think? Of these 4 QBs, and I'll make you factor in Deshaun's off-the-field stuff, too, to make it more interesting. Who would you most want to trade for? Type AR for Aaron Rodgers, type RW for Russell Wilson, type DW for Deshaun Watson, or type in KM for Kyler Murray. Now, today's show is powered by our sportsbook partner, BetUS. If you want to bet on the Super Bowl, this is the best spot to do it. Put down $100, and they're going to give you an extra $125 for free. That is at chatsports.com/bet. Promo code Steelers125 $100 down gets you a 125% deposit bonus. Minimum 100 up to 600, by the way. You can bet on the Bengals or Rams. I know you're not going to pick the Bengals. Or also the Gatorade color, one of the fun props out there. Orange is plus 200, the betting favorite. Then it's clear/water, lime/yellow/green, red, blue, and purple as well. You can bet on all of the Gatorade colors. Everyone you think ends up getting dumped on the winning coach, and literally hundreds of other prop bets at chatsports.com/bet. Just remember to use promo code Steelers when you put down $100 to get, or Steelers 125, excuse me, you get that 125% deposit bonus. Eric Straub, why does nobody talk about Tyler Huntley? He did a great job after Lamar Jackson got hurt. It'd be a cheaper fix than Rodgers or Wilson. I think it's spend their money on the O-line and QB. So, or cornerback, excuse me. Straub and Huntley is one question. There's one from Connor Waits about Jameis Winston. What about pursuing Winston as QB? So we'll group these two together, two very different styles of QB. Tyler Huntley was a dual threat this past year for the Baltimore Ravens, and he was fine, solid in the place of Lamar Jackson. Who here thinks if the Ravens had Lamar as their QB, they would have made the playoffs, though? Because I do. So does producer Sam. Huntley was a nice little piece. He was a former UDFA out of Utah. If you want to have the mobility at QB, that is appealing. Now, I'll make note, Huntley is an exclusive rights free agent. He'll be back with the Ravens next year, so you would have to trade for him. That makes it a little bit dicey in terms of actually getting him. And frankly, I don't really know if he's a true franchise QB. Jameis Winston, similar boat of being a franchise QB, but a very different style. Not nearly as mobile as Huntley is, not nearly as much of a runner. The TD interception ratio was awesome with Sean Payton. Now, you don't have Sean Payton in Pittsburgh, no disrespect to Matt Canada, but come on, I'm right. Comp percentage was not great. He's still, at some point, some level, Jameis Winston, but I am excited to see if the Steelers can pursue. Of the two, I think the more gettable one by a massive margin is actually Jameis Winston. But if you could pick one, we'll say if they're both obtainable for similar cost/draft capital as relates to Huntley, in terms of the cost you got to pay him or whatever, pick one for me. TH for Tyler Huntley or JW for Jameis Winston. Sam Hartman, #Steelers, we are losing JuJu, so we definitely need to keep Chase Claypool. It does kind of seem like JuJu's on his way out with his whole, I wouldn't mind paying for playing for Dak Prescott. He knows what he's doing. He's trying to get paid this offseason. I would wonder if James Washington is also gone, so that would leave you with Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool as receiver 1 and 2, and then receiver 3 is Cody White? Under contract. So it gets very thin. So I know there's been some Chase Claypool trade rumors and ideas, whatever. I would agree. I would say keep Chase Claypool. I don't want to give up and move on from him so quickly. I think there's plenty of upside there. It's tough to find 800-yard receivers. Touchdowns got to go up, but we know what he can be. And maybe you're upset about the whole, carrying himself late in games when the clock is running down. I get that. But he's a good football player. Rare size. You spent a second-round pick on him in the end. So I would keep Chase Claypool. Either way, I think receiver is a bit of an underrated need right now for Pittsburgh. We correctly pay so much attention to the cornerback spot, the quarterback spot as well. Offensive line for sure. Maybe a linebacker as well. But with 3 of your top 5 guys at receiver, I do think it makes sense to at least look at other options in addition to keeping Chase Claypool this offseason. Now, again, if you guys want to be on the show for a future Steelers mailbag, we've got 2 simple rules. Number 1, you got to be subscribed. Hit that big red button at youtube.com/SteelersTV. I'm sure you're watching on YouTube, so just subscribe right now. And use #Steelers in the comments section. It just makes our lives 1,000 times easier to actually find your questions here on the mailbag.